Hello and welcome to Tina and Karen Do the Tube. I am Karen.
This is Tina.
We're coming back for
We
our
are.
second attempt at starting this program. Uh, I was inadvertently showing off my real name in the screen with my face there, so I decided to change it so everyone knows who I really am, Karen. It's not an alter ego. It's like Bruce Wayne is the alter ego, but the real person is
Yeah.
Batman. I am really Batman.
Yeah, your real name is actually Karen 8 equals D.
Well, my real identity is Karen eight equals. Um, my persona, my everyday life outside of this chat,
Ah.
this stream is just a facade.
Good.
This is who I really am. All right. Just like,
Everything else is the Truman Show.
well, I don't know. Do you think Clark? Okay, I'm getting a little detoured. We had a good show that we were gonna upload for everyone earlier in this week, but we had a guest on who, after we interviewed him and talked about it, because it was actually a much more hard pressed talk than usually we do, much more politics, I think, and which I'm always good with. I had to I got pretty drunk that night.
Afterwards too.
No, beforehand. I told you beforehand we went on with him. I said I have to get drunk if I'm going to talk to him about this stuff.
That's true, yeah.
Now I'm just reasonably like buzzed, like how I go through life.
One drink at a time.
Yeah. But he basically texted me after the interview was over, the debate, and he told me he did not want me to post it, and out of respect for him, I said no, we'll skip it. That was a private talk for us.
I get it, and every guest should be warned beforehand. We'll get into the nitty gritty conversations.
Well, that's the thing. He actually agreed to come on the podcast to talk about these things. That's why
I know.
That's why we need to get more reliable guests. I told you this.
And we're willing to cut anything out.
So, like, that's what I was saying to you before we started this podcast together. Is I said I don't think he said anything that controversial, really, except for maybe one part, which we agreed to cut out for him. But he just wanted the whole thing scrapped, which is sad because we lost an episode for that week. And
It was a good one. I mean, you guys came at two different positions, and politically, and you kind of found out you agreed a lot more on things than you may have thought.
oh no, I always knew that we agreed more on than he realizes. He just hates me because he thinks I believe all the worst possible things. We went into this. He thought. I thought our friendship was over at one point because he called me some of the nastiest things on the planet. But
Do you ever think he's just trolling you sometimes?
no, I think he's got a temper problem. I really do. I don't think it's trolling. I think that I think he believes everything he reads in the newspaper, and I don't. I'm the exact opposite. I question everything I read in the newspaper. I don't trust a word of it. And everything he read in the newspaper told him that I was a bad person. But he was going through a little cognitive dissonance in his head because he'd known me for like 10 years. So it was like...
How can this person I know, be this way or support this ideology?
Oh, yeah, this evil person. Well, because he didn't know anything. But we're getting a little sidetracked.
Speaking of evil people, do we know any incels?
Well, I mean, first off, okay, so we're going to get into this. We found this video from Jubilee, which we're going to, in the title of the video is, I'm an Incel, Ask Me Anything. And I'm assuming this is the Incel because, well, I mean, let's be honest. Incels...
No, that's the thing.
Well, no,
it's actually the girl.
No, can women actually be Incels, really? I mean, like...
I mean, that
was more of a guy thing. Right, because
you think like it's mostly towards guides, but I mean, I imagine you could have an involuntary celibate woman.
So we've never actually discussed incels on this channel before. So let's at least first define it for those who may not know. Incel is shorthand for involuntary celibate. And
is this a relatively new thing?
The term
in history, has this been kind of a... I don't think it's been like a well-known, I want to say trope, but group of people, or...
the term itself has only been around for 4 or 5 years. I think it's a relatively new
Yeah.
term.
They've existed throughout history, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hypergamy, man. What are your thoughts on hypergamy?
Hypergamy?
Yeah, that's the idea that women are always looking for the top guy.
I mean, I would think men would also always try to look for the top woman,
How
but
many?
you
Okay,
know,
but how many men do you know? Be honest. Like, okay, let's be fully honest here. How many guys do you know who would just say, "I'll take anyone at this point"? They're
I
not
can't
going.
say me.
They're not going for
Um,
the top. Well, I no. There was a little funny like study from OkCupid, which is the dating site. And you know what they found out? They found out that like the distribution by which men were rating women was relatively normal distribution. Like you had a peak, a mean around 5 or 6, and then like tail end it looked like a normal distribution. But the women, when rating the appearance of men, said that like 80% of men were below average appearance.
wow.
Which, if you just think of it as a pure statistics thing, makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, yeah.
50% would be
80% of men.
were below attractiveness, below a
Wow, that's
below
below a
average.
5.
Yeah, yeah, like
If we're going 5 average.
80% were below.
Wow.
I mean, I might have been fudging those numbers, but it's significant more than what guys were. I'm saying if you look at a guy's like way of rating women, it's mostly normal distribution. But if you look at women, it's heavily skewed towards men are ugly.
So get over your appearance, like this guy, and
So, do you have any initial before we start the video? Do you have any initial thoughts on what an incel is, other than just involuntary celibate? Like, what do you think about their attitude or personality?
well, I guess the way the news skews it is that these people are dangerous, lone wolf type of guys that will they tend to be toxically masculine
What?
and maybe not toxically I guess
See, no,
they
I
don't.
always thought that the incels were the ones who were less masculine. That's why they can't get women. Like,
You think so?
look at this guy. Does this guy strike you as an overly macho guy? Just by appearance.
I mean, he seems kind of edgelordy. Was he wearing like a Venom shirt? Is that the symbol?
I think that's like a mix of Kill Bill and Spider-Man.
Yeah, but then he's got like a nice plaid shirt on underneath. But then he's got the stoner hair.
I'd date this guy. I'd fuck him. Sure. I'd fuck him hard. I don't know if I'd be the top. I'd be the top. But I'll take his incel status away.
But yeah, there just seems to be some like negative connotations with being an incel. According to the media, I'm curious to learn if there's, maybe we should have some empathy for these types of guys.
I would agree that the media seems to paint these. I wouldn't say toxic masculine. I would say that that they are dangerous. I agree that there's this idea that incels are dangerous and they hate women.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that they're toxically masculine, though, because when I think of toxic masculinity, which I don't like the term too much, but when I think of it, I just think of hyper machismo.
Do you think maybe they act more masculine than they actually are to overcompensate for their?
That's possible, but that's what I would say is toxic masculine if there was something like that, right? Because it's to the idea. Okay, so the idea of toxic masculinity is the idea that like guys are overly macho. Like they gotta basically like take unnecessary risks. They're like they gotta be misogynistic in some sense to like prove to
They gotta take
guys.
up all the space on they gotta man spread and mansplain and
You know, do you believe in that? Like, is that like a thing? Like, what do you think about that?
I don't really actually.
On the
I
list,
mean-
a list of like grievances out there. I mean, mansplaining and manspreading. Are those big deals?
I mean, I guess if you're on like a crowded bus and you're just kind of like lounging, it can seem a little like, and everyone's having to like stand up and hold on to bars in the bus or subway, and you're just sitting there trying to spread out as much as you can just so you can have some space. maybe, but if it's like an empty bus or sitting area and there's no one else near you, I don't see why it would be an issue.
Do you think the manspreading is more to assert their dominance or more just because men have balls and it's uncomfortable to keep your legs together?
Well, my balls aren't that big, and
Okay,
I
big balls.
probably man spread more than most, I think.
Well, there you go. You sit wide. Why do women not sit wide? Because they don't need to. I'll put my legs together really like tight, like ladylike. This is uncomfortable. I could not do
Yeah,
this the whole
yeah.
show.
It
But
just feels more natural. I don't know. Like when I sit down, I like to take up space. And I guess from a body language standpoint, you're like taking up like this is your territory.
next,
But
if a woman genuinely asks you to stop manspreading, tell her to do this.
just crunch up.
Put the arms together. Like put the arms together. Get the boobs together and such like that, and just tell
Oh.
her. Hey, can you do that for like an hour? Is that comfortable?
What about mansplaining? That one confuses me even more.
Mansplaining is when men
Is it
explain.
toxic?
No, it's not. It's stupid. It's when
Okay.
men think they know better than a woman, so they explain something to her. I mean, that's just what they would say is. Is that a man thing?
I know guys that do that to other guys.
Right. I mean, I don't think it's a sex thing. I think it's just like there are some assholes out there who think they know best for everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's more of just kind of like an asshole move if they think they have to explain everything before, or they assume they have to explain everything. But
did you ever? You like The Office, right?
yeah,
Do you remember the character Oscar? He's the
yeah, yeah,
accountant, the gay Mexican accountant.
yeah.
Like there was an
Forgot he was gay.
Yeah, he was gay. We watch that show so much. It's the only good one. But like, there's an episode where he challenges Michael to like a debate, like to show that how smart he is or something like that. But then there was the whole joke about how Oscar is known as actually around the office because he inserts himself into every conversation to offer information or correct grammar or other things. And that idea is like that's what mansplaining would be, but he does it to everyone because that's just what some people do. There's some people who think they're know-it-alls. We've always had know-it-alls.
Yeah, actually. Um,
Okay. You know what? I think we've detoured enough. Let's start the video and we can stop and react to this guy. And we
yeah, do you have any guesses? Do you think he's going to be exactly who we think he's going to be, or do you think we're going to actually learn something new?
I think I might know.
Is he going to fit the character, I guess? Sorry.
I have no preconceived notions of what a incel is. I know that the idea of them seems dangerous because they're really resentful about the world. But so maybe let's see if he. I would say if he's an incel, then we might see a little bit of resentment. Like he seems to hate women because he can't get laid.
Okay, kind of some animosity.
That's what I would assume from this video. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know anyone who self-identifies as an incel.
Yeah, I feel like most are kind of, it's like the tip of the iceberg for them.
All right, let's get into the. We can stop. You can stop me whenever. Just say stop. Just if you got something to say.
If you could summarize your opinion towards women.
Like what I think of them?
Yes.
I do think they are very important, but
It's a big but.
They echo it.
They definitely dramatized that a bit.
But,
It's like
I caught a
I
little
think-
smugness there in the beginning.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think
Yeah.
war is terrible, but I think child molestation is the worst thing ever. But
Yeah, actually.
actually, yeah. Okay, so incel. Oh, actually, define it. We didn't need to do shit.
Oh.
An online subculture. Oh shit, I lost it.
some topics are hard.
Let's go back. An incel is a member of an online subculture that centers around not being sexually active despite desiring to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just kind of overly explained.
Right.
I guess it's more like an online subculture though, rather than a, offline subculture.
Everything's online these days. We're forming so many new communities online, shared interests, and shared grief.
Yeah, but that's what compartmentalizes it too, is, you know, all these incels sharing, stuff with each other, and,
You can kind of see the both ends of the spectrum, right? The positive and the negatives of this. Like
yeah,
you
exactly.
can see the
It's
empathy
like,
side of it, and you can also see how like the radicalizing side of it.
exactly. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Some topics are hard.
Dude. Okay, wait. We saw
Joker?
this. No, I saw Joker, and I was gonna bring this up. If we
Hmm.
could. Oh, there. Yep, I got him. The Joker movie is the ultimate incel movie.
That's true. Maybe Taxi Driver more than Joker, though, because I feel like Joker takes a lot from Taxi Driver.
I never saw Taxi Driver,
Oh, good movie.
but I
You
mean,
looking at me? Oh, actually, no. Sorry.
I thought I thought Taxi Driver, he was an anarchist. He just didn't. He was a nihilist. He didn't believe in anything.
I guess it's not self-explained. Even in the Joker movie, like, he could not be an incel, but he just kind of fits the mold that we think an incel, or at least through the media, an incel would be.
I would say the Joker is the top tier. It's a great movie, and I think it does explain what the idea of an incel is. A nice guy who society shits all over, and eventually they just snap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They've just had enough.
Well, I think that's what we're gonna find out. Maybe is that incels. I think most incels are just the nice guy finished last, and that bothers them a lot.
Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong, or maybe you have a different thought about that. Because the fact that you said that incels were toxically masculine, that was something I hadn't thought about incels before.
Well, they're definitely not overly feminine, I think.
No, some of them I think are. Look, I mean, we looked at
They
this
probably
guy.
are, but they're not the ones, going online and, trying to meet other incels.
Wait, explain that.
Oh, the overly feminine ones, or the more, I guess, not as overly masculine ones are probably the ones not going online and trying to,
See, I would personally say that I would assume most incels were more feminine, only because I feel like masculine guys don't have as hard a time finding girls. Like
I wish
actually,
there was a study we could look up.
Some topics are hard to approach.
More and more male hatred against women is rising up.
You might call this a new phenomenon.
Either the subjects are inaccessible or people are uncomfortable discussing them.
If you're an ugly guy, you better get a good job and make some money, because nobody's gonna want to talk to you.
Girls, I will
okay, I knew they were gonna bring up this guy.
Oh, you recognize him?
Yes, I don't know his name, but he's the guy in California. He's the sort of the, what would you say? He's the picturesque of what the incel movement is, because he killed a bunch of women because he hated women because he never got laid. Like, do you recognize him?
He doesn't really look like a killer's face.
No, I mean, you could go. This video still might be on YouTube, but I knew they were gonna bring him up. I don't know his name exactly. I can't remember it, but he was the guy in California who shot at girls, and he gave out this like 10-minute long like monologue, posted on YouTube, and then went to go kill people. And his whole monologue was about how he was like 21 years old and he was still a virgin and no one had ever kissed him before, and he was really pissed off about that.
You think most of these incels are maybe just, obviously angsty, involuntary celibate men under the age of like maybe like 30, 25?
Yeah.
At least maybe the more violent ones.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many. I think at a certain age. Well, that's a tough one. I mean, do you think that like after a certain age, you just sort of accept that you're never gonna get laid and you just calm down, or do you think you get more resentful as you get older?
I think, yeah, you think we just build up and, just explode at some point. But most of these are when they're, hormones are still kind of raging quite a bit. And so something has to be done. Whereas if you somehow make it, the 40-year-old virgin status, maybe it's just not a big a deal.
Maybe. I mean, like, that could be the alternative, right? Some guys might get more and more resentful, and some guys might just give up, like the 40-year-old virgin is a good example, and then just stay away from women.
Yeah.
But I can see the Alder scenario where guys would get just more and more frustrated as it went on, because I think like men feel like a sense of entitlement.
Is that what happened with priests?
No, I think if you want to know my opinion about the whole priest thing, I think that like any position that puts you around children will be exploited by child molesters.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think it's more of a child thing than and maybe like an involuntary thing, and that's how they have to.
No, I do not think that it's because priests have to vow celibacy. I think it's solely from the fact that you're a authority figure to most children, and that it makes
thing.
That is it's a power thing, and that makes your position very attractive to certain pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'm starting to think the opposite of involuntary celibate is like the overly attached girlfriend.
It's like the flip side of that.
Yeah, like that crazy YouTube lady that went in and shut up YouTube.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that wasn't because of a boyfriend, though.
No. That wasn't the one, the Iranian girl who like shot.
Yeah, that's actually different.
Yeah, but I think she did that because she thought that YouTube's algorithms were preventing her from getting famous.
Yeah. There's plenty of other examples of overly attached women. Which is totally
what's fucking us over. We should be fucking PewDiePie by now.
Come on. Our topics aren't engaging enough.
I'm hip. I'm with it. I'm cool. I can do the beep bop and the boop bop.
I can review memes.
Fucking hell. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be great? Just that's some people's fucking living on the fucking site. Is just reacting to stuff. Amazing.
Destroy you.
You don't deserve to get laid at all!
Okay, is that the macho thing you were talking about? I didn't know that exists too, I guess. I gotta watch that guy again.
I like that guy.
You don't deserve to get laid at all!
Macho man, incel savage.
He was wearing a Metroid hat too.
Okay, so if that guy is representative of the group now, I see what you were saying. That's Macho Man Randy Savage right there. That's just incel man.
I'm now my interest is perked.
So we found those subjects in person, rented a space in Hollywood, and invited our audience and any strangers.
Did it zoom in on New York and say Hollywood?
We found those subjects in person, rented a space in Hollywood.
Yeah, it zoomed in on.
It did.
It's so fucking stupid. We rented a space in Hollywood, so we'll do this graphic to zoom in on New York.
And invited our audience and any strangers walking by to come inside and ask them anything.
I do like ask them anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm Brendio. I also go by Derek.
Brendio?
Brendio. Is that a name?
Is this his online name?
But no, wait, he also goes by Derek, though. Is Derek his online name? I would just say if your name's Brendio, that's way cooler than Derek. Just go by Brendio.
Okay. Touche.
But maybe, I don't know.
Hey, I'm an incel, and I'm here to answer people's questions about the topic.
Okay, so as you mentioned, they can't see each other. So that's why this bar in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
So yeah, he's behind a curtain, they're behind another curtain, so they can't see each other.
That's probably a good way to go.
Yeah.
I can start. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So you're an incel.
Yes.
Why would you ever sign up to do this?
I think that's a dumb question.
Oh, well, okay, hold on. I thought it was dumb when he said it, but let him realize why would he sign up to ask everyone's questions?
Oh, okay.
Okay, because
I thought he meant like.
No,
why would you sign up?
That is really stupid. Why would you sign up to be involuntary celibate? It's involuntary. But no, it's just why would he answer all the questions? I'm guessing.
Yeah, that makes much more sense.
I suppose I would want to give more of a positive light on this community, which is a very negative light upon it.
Okay. And do you think that's a good thing?
Yes,
Why is that?
because a lot of the boys in this community aren't bad people.
But you.
He calls them boys.
That's a good point.
Not men.
It's a little creepy.
And he doesn't reference any women, so.
Well, once again, I don't think that incels refer to women. Who's ever heard of involuntary celibate woman? Women are celibate by choice. Men are celibate by just circumstance.
If they're involuntarily celibate, I imagine there's a big reason.
Did you ever see that study where like a random attractive guy approached 100 women on the street and said, "Would you go to bed with me?"
No.
Okay. Well, this is actually interesting. I'll send you the link if I can remember it. But a study was done where basically an attractive woman and an attractive man walked up to 100 random strangers on the streets. Of the 100 women the man approached, only one agreed to go back to bed with him. But for the
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. But for the attractive woman approaching men, like 76 or 80 out of 100 said yes. They didn't know her. She just walked in. Hey, would you be interested in maybe coming back to my hotel with me and having sex? Well, I mean, like I bring that up because
77%.
I don't know the numbers exactly, but the one number I do remember is it was one out of 100 for the attractive.
I'm
guy.
surprised they even got one.
Well, that tells you that sexuality is different between men and women, just plain and simple.
Yeah, courtship.
Yeah, exactly. And I just don't think that like women are celibate by choice. They could have sex whenever they want. They just choose not to.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Okay.
You acknowledge that a good handful of them are, right?
Not a good handful, I'd say a small handful.
Who hurt you, or what happened? What event sort of catalyzed this way of thinking and you getting into this kind of research?
Research?
Yeah, what?
That's a weird question.
What happened where it led you down this rabbit hole, basically, is what she's saying.
That's fine, but the research part. I mean, I guess do you research like fringe communities online? Is that like what it is?
No, I mean, I'm always curious, but I don't go out of my way sometimes to research them. If something catches my eye and I don't know anything about it.
Mostly cryptocurrency catches your eye.
Just invested in Coinbase this morning.
I did too. Well, not this morning, but I've had Coinbase for a while.
Okay. No, their IPO just went out this morning.
I know, that's what you're up to.
Society.
Do you hate women?
No.
Does that surprise you?
A little bit, actually. Because you would assume most of these, incels would have some sort of animosity towards them or hold some kind of grudge against women as a whole, or else why are they getting together?
Well, I mean, not the getting together part, but like the grudge against women part means like, yeah, I can see how that would lead towards hatred. I mean, like, say you felt like you were entitled to something. Let's say it's something as basic as just human warmth and human companionship. But it wasn't like, it's not as simple as like going to the store and getting food, which food doesn't need a consent to be eaten by you. But companionship, as we know, like we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like we need to feel loved and secure in a relationship once we have all of our basic needs met, right? So I can see why that would lead towards resentment, because you feel like you see what, like there's a meme of like there's a fucking movie, superhero movie. It's a bad fucking movie. But like the whole thing is when you become single, all you notice is happy couples. As soon as you become single, all you'll ever notice is the happy couples around you. And that can lead towards resentment.
I could see that, yeah. But I mean, these guys are single in the first place, right? They've never had been with someone in order to resent happy couples, right?
Oh yeah, but I think that makes it even worse. They've never gotten the chance to experience that kind of happiness.
I don't mean I've never been in a relationship, and I don't look at happy couples and feel jealous.
Yeah, but you're cool.
Thank you.
You're fucking Palmer Lake, Tina.
I know. Maybe this guy's cool too. He does. He says he has no grudge against women.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
That's why I'm hoping to learn more here.
Do you have a female role model in your life?
A female role model.
Yeah, like a mom or an aunt or a friend.
I mean, I love my mom. I wouldn't necessarily consider her a role model, but I do love her quite a bit.
Who's your best role model for a woman?
Ooh, in my personal life, or like in just women?
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry?
Yeah, she's like the role model for all women, right?
Tifa.
Tifa. Who?
Tifa?
Oh, right. No. It can't be Tifa. Well, fuck it. It can be.
She's
Tifa.
a ninja. Or, yeah, she's a fighter.
So that's your role model for women. All women should be fighters.
No.
Do you have a role model of like what's ideal woman? I'm not saying sexually, just like, do you have a role model that's a woman?
Fits the role of the ideal woman in my life.
Doesn't have to, like, once again, doesn't have to be sexual. It's just we're talking like what do you picture a woman to be? Like, is there
my mom and sister are great. They're not perfect, by no means, but I would probably, judge other women against them rather than them against other women, I guess.
Your mom and your sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really a whole lot of other women that I, see all the time.
Well, hold on. You have lots of guy friends with girlfriends. I mean, like, has there been like a standout amongst them?
Like
you're talking to one of your friends who's married? Okay, yeah, I can't expect you to say.
Do you want me to say?
No, you don't have to say my wife is the role model.
Yeah.
No.
Your wife is great.
My wife
She's quite adventurous,
Fucking yeah.
How about you?
Martha Stewart.
There's this one woman that sounded. If we want to go out, women outside of my circle,
Sure.
there's this one woman.
Okay.
What's her name? I'll have to look her up. Her name's like Millicent, which you never see.
You mean like
days.
what's the fucking Sleeping Beauty villain? Maleficent?
No, Millicent, like Millicent.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I'm
Oh,
curious.
Millicent Rogers. I went to her museum outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico. She seemed like quite the woman, kind of like that femme fatale.
Well, who was she? Like you're being purposely vague. Come on, what'd she do, or who is she?
I think she worked like with the CIA. She was a fashion icon, art collector, and she was the granddaughter of, I guess, some oil baron.
Okay.
Yeah, she just kind of stands out in every way, but I don't know too much about her though.
So your mom and your sister are taking a back seat to Millicent
Rogers, yeah.
Millicent Rogers.
Yes, so.
Okay, you got a top 3 though.
You never answered the question though.
I said Martha
Is it your
Stewart.
wife? Oh yeah, Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart is the ideal woman. No.
You go into jail, just make her cooler.
She's fucking badass. She probably has a tattoo. She got a prison tattoo. No, I would say my wife or my sister, if I had to pick.
Okay.
I love my mom too, but I don't know if she'd be the role model for like I don't know, something about.
That's the thing. Like that's the key part of the question. Role model.
Yeah. All right. Well,
If a woman was elected as president of the United States, how would you react?
Depends on the woman.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be.
that's true.
Would
yeah.
you would you be thrilled with a woman president just because it's a woman president, or would you actually have to care about what she believed?
I obviously I'd care about what she believed first.
Sarah Palin.
But
Sarah
I'd
Palin.
be curious.
Hold on. Let's use an example. I'm assuming you don't like Sarah Palin. Right?
She's kind of funny.
Okay. in what sort of way? Like intentional or
Very, very. I think it's unintentional. I don't think she kind of gaffes on purpose.
All right. Yeah. So Sarah Palin is president. Is she a feminist icon now, or what?
I think that automatically qualifies her as kind of like a feminist icon, right?
Oh, I disagree. I disagree.
I mean, the fact that she's filling a role that traditionally only men have filled, yeah.
I still disagree. I think if Sarah Palin were
maybe she's not the best person to fill that icon role, but I think she's put in that position regardless.
I would feel like if Sarah Palin was elected to be the first female president, I don't think that there's a single feminist on the planet who would be happy about it.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, what's her name? The fucking Supreme Court justice. What's the fucking
Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
No. The one who replaced her.
Oh, Amy Coney Barrett.
Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah, there were a lot of feminists who hated her. It's like, hey, it's female representation on the Supreme Court. That's what you live for, right? No, they hated her.
Feminists hated Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
That's not true. They fucking love
That's
her.
absolutely true.
No, it's not. They love
They
fucking
did.
Ruth Bader. You
Bill
bullshit
Clinton
me.
didn't want to put her in because he thought all the feminists would hate him after.
I don't think that's true.
It's absolutely. I swear.
She's fucking notorious RBG. I mean, you don't get a fucking nickname like that unless you mean something to people.
Okay, so maybe Sarah Palin isn't the feminist icon to begin with, but afterwards maybe like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
No. Hold on. Margaret Thatcher is the first female prime minister of United Kingdom, one of the biggest, best countries on the planet. Well, I don't know about biggest, but but one of the most important countries on the planet, and feminists hate her. They fucking hate her.
Okay, I guess maybe not a feminist icon, but as sort of she has a place in history. She's some sort of icon.
Well, she does. I'm not saying she doesn't, but like I'm saying, like, is she a figure of female empowerment? No.
Yeah, in a way, she's a bad icon for that.
For that, well, I would disagree. I would disagree totally with the feminists, but that's just me.
But this guy, he laughs right afterwards, like he was expecting that question.
I'll say Tulsi Gabbard. I'd fucking vote for her 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
You wouldn't vote for her. You hated her.
I didn't hate her, not at all.
You didn't know her.
I did not know her positions that well.
Okay. That's fair. I shouldn't have said you hated her. I had no reason to say you hated her, but I don't think that was in your top 3 candidates of choice.
Would she be a feminist icon?
I would hope so.
I mean, she was in the military. She is, you know more than I do, but do you think she would?
I think that she would be a great president. I think she would have.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if she would necessarily be a feminist icon, but I'd have to hope that she would be. But
It's gonna happen though, right? We're gonna have a woman as a president eventually.
Oh yeah, because Joe Biden's not even alive. The real thing was who will be the first elected female president. That'll be a big deal.
That's gonna happen in our lifetime too, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It probably would depend on the woman. I probably wouldn't be supportive of it, honestly, but.
Oh.
Why do you say that?
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah. We're gonna get to.
That's first big red flag I hear.
He
said I probably wouldn't be supportive of
either way.
A woman.
Almost. Yeah. So wait, like, what's his exact word? Let's go back.
I probably wouldn't be supportive of it, honestly, but.
Okay, so probably wouldn't be supportive, honestly.
This guy holds a grudge.
Of course he does. He's an incel. But okay, hold on here. Okay. So I liked what he said at first. Say it would depend on the woman, but then he says, I probably wouldn't be supportive either way. Okay. Or he didn't say either way. He said honestly. But so
Yeah.
let's say he had the ideal candidate who agreed with all of his positions and had showed all leadership traits that he would want in a leader. Because it's a woman, he'd still probably be like, nah, I don't want her.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Yeah.
So let's.
Should
we hear him out? No?
Let's dive further.
Yeah.
Why do you say that, if you don't mind me asking?
I do think that, you know, men should be the leaders and women should be the caregivers and the you know.
Damn right.
The loving, the supporting, and the teachers in some cases.
Since.
What do you think about that? That's a pretty traditional role.
Yeah. I think the problem I have with that is should, although I do think the genders will kind of pan out more. Like he said, there will probably be more teachers that are women always than men.
Right.
Especially for like younger grades.
I agree. I would say I disagree with should.
Yeah.
Women
we shouldn't have to confine them to those roles.
Women will naturally gravitate towards nurturing roles, and men will naturally gravitate towards leadership roles. But that doesn't mean should. You judge everyone as an individual.
Yeah. That's a Jordan Peterson thing, isn't it?
I mean, he didn't invent the concept. I mean, he just talks about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, no, it's true, though. Like, if you want, we both want a free society where we maximize the amount of choice everyone has, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we do that, outcomes are never going to be equal because people are going to choose to do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, women are going to gravitate towards one field and men are going to gravitate towards other fields because there are differences between the genders.
Here's a question.
Sure.
Back to that president thing. Do you think that we'd have any benefits of having a woman president by the fact that she is a woman? Not by her like skills or positions, but by the very fact that she's a woman. Would there be any positives to that?
Yes. The one benefit I can imagine would be the signal and message to every little girl in America that you can do anything.
Yeah. You're not confined to those.
No, that's what I would say. Like, I mean, other than that, like, I can't see any other benefit towards a woman over a man necessarily, other than it just gives the message to every girl in America that you can do anything you set your mind to.
Okay.
Which is not true. Like, let's be honest. Like, we tell every fucking kindergartner, if you work hard enough and study hard enough, you can become president. Bullshit.
Why is it always president? I had that same thing in my elementary school. All the kids that thought I'd be president.
Look, if you put your mind to it, you can be the assistant night manager at a Home Depot.
Really put all your time and skills together.
That's what we should be telling kids. Kindergarten, like, if you really put your mind to it, you study, you work hard, you can become the assistant night manager at a Home Depot.
That's what we should tell kids. You should be a moron.
Hey, morons gotta learn, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's good.
Women of color or just women in general have been oppressed by certain systems. And
he looks annoyed by that question.
Yeah, he's getting a little anxious.
All right.
Since women of color or just women in general have been oppressed by certain systems and other oppressed communities, especially LGBTQ+, all those don't really fit with the spectrum that incels or you have been.
To be fair, I find this girl kind of annoying myself, but all right.
She kind of is attacking him.
Exactly. This is her first question, or are they cutting parts out? Like,
I'm assuming they're cutting parts out.
Yeah, she seems really aggressive for a first question and talk.
Yeah, it sounds like she answered a question that she didn't like, and now she's following up.
Yeah, it seems that way. Unless like she really is projecting what she thinks of him, that's not what you're supposed to do, right? When you're really curious about learning, you don't go in assuming the worst. I was listening to a podcast earlier today about this like YouTuber who, how should I put this? He's sort of a racist, but not overtly so. And then the
Okay.
interviewer was like just like hammering him on the racism thing. And then the guy just basically just exited out. He said, I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to answer any of your questions. And I like, that was sort of like, I went back and forth like that for almost an hour. I'm like, this is pointless. There's neither side is pushing because they're not really talking to each other. They're just accusing. And it was fucking garbage. I mean, we could react to that sometime if you'd like. It was a good podcast.
I mean, if the interviewer is really interested in a good interview, they should press the question, but they shouldn't press it so hard that they make their interviewee uncomfortable. And,
well, no, hold on. I'm all for making the interviewee uncomfortable. my
but the idea is to find out more that you wouldn't have known before, right?
Right, exactly.
You can do this as an interviewer intentionally just to kind of get views, right? Is that the job I guess that is the job of if you work for like a paper or media company to get views.
Yeah, no, that's why we're not popular. When we've brought on guests to interview, I think we were pretty fair, right? I mean, we might be. I don't know if we're too fair. It's not like we're doing any hard-pressing journalism. For fuck's sake, we're mostly just interviewing our friends. Let's be fucking honest. All right.
Yeah, we want to know and see what they do in their life.
But we usually say, are there any topics off limits? And they'll tell us, and we go from there. And usually we have follow-up questions, and because if we follow that trail, but we don't just press someone like. The last week's talk was a great example. After that conversation was over, I thought about 1,000 other questions I wanted to ask Joe. I'll just say his name. Fuck it. But I thought it was mostly a productive conversation. But at the same time, like I told you, he and I don't actually disagree on that much. He just thinks I believe things I don't believe.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I sometimes think he's trolling you. But
no. Dude, he's fucking brainwashed. He is. Dude.
Okay.
Fucking watches CNN and crap.
I watch CNN. I mean, I read their articles when I'm just looking for basic headlines. But
dude, CNN is garbage.
But well, you gotta get your basic headlines somewhere.
Here's the thing: all the mainstream news is garbage.
Plus, it's only 3 letters to type.
Okay. All the mainstream news is garbage, but I think CNN especially is garbage. Do you hear about
more than Fox News or on par?
I don't know. I don't really watch Fox News, but
I like to tune into Fox News just to see what they're saying too sometimes.
Well, did you hear about what Project Veritas exposed about CNN? CNN said, yeah, we basically put out a lot of propaganda to get Trump out of office. We lied about him.
Oh, surprise.
It's not surprising to anyone who knows CNN, but that's the fucking thing. You're a news outlet. You're a journalist outlet. Don't you have integrity? You're not supposed to be lying in order to get, propaganda. No, but,
That's what goes back to the interview thing. Like, you would think a good interviewer wants to get to know the person more than they did before.
And a great interviewer will clip things out of context for likes.
Or try to inflame the person they're interviewing.
That's right. All right. So she is aggressive, but we'll see where this leads. He definitely is not happy with her. Look at his body language.
Something happened before this.
Look at his body's language. He's just totally hates this
back and forth,
spectrum that
uncomfortable.
incels or you have been talking about. So why do you think your method of thought would help fix what we have today?
I probably wouldn't view the things that you might view as oppression.
No,
I have a feeling.
Okay, well, she's bothered by it. How do you define oppression?
Big power structures, not allowing people their choices or rights, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say an imbalance of power, where one side is denying people their rights and subjecting them to horrible treatment over a prolonged period of time.
Over a prolonged period of time. Yeah.
Right, because if I'm a dick to you in the moment, then you're not being oppressed. I'm just being a dick. But like, let's say I was your boss, right? And now I can make your life a living hell. I'm oppressing you. But let's say I'm just some dick at the coffee shop who's treating you like crap. You're not being oppressed. I'm just a dick, and you're having a bad day.
Even if you're a boss and you're oppressive, that's not wrong.
Wait. Even if you're a boss? What? Say that again.
Let's say you're like an oppressive boss.
Oh, you're a boss. You're getting really sensitive now, you little fucking... All right. I'm not saying that the power structure of a manager and employees is oppression. I'm not that guy. We're gonna bring the anarchist back on. We're gonna talk to him. But I don't think that's a form of oppression. I'm just saying, but yeah. Let's say...
I think of like a societal oppression.
Okay, well, societal level, true. Because you can't flee society like you can flee a business.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm using the business thing because it's more relatable to us. If you had an employee who... Well, the problem is he can leave. That's true. Let's imagine he can't leave. Let's fucking say it's society. You're no longer the boss of your job. You're the governor. And you hate people named Nate. You hate all Nates.
Yeah.
So you basically you do everything you can to like mess up their schedules and to treat them poorly and to make sure that they can't succeed and deliberately mistreat them. That's oppression.
Mm-hmm. But pay them just enough money so they can't leave.
Ah. See, that's the thing. Is it oppression at that point if you basically like
when it's their choice?
Well, we have to get the anarchist back on to talk about this thing because I think he would have a good perspective on this. Well, not a good one, but an interesting one. Because is it voluntary if you really it's just the only job you can get?
That's a good question.
So like in my talk with the anarchist, okay, so for full reference, Tina and I both did an interview with one of our somewhat friend who, well, Tina didn't know him at all, but he's a sort of friend of mine, and he's a total anarchist, and he just really hates the power structure between managers and workers. And he asked me the question, you said you felt like a slave, because I answered his little questionnaire, and I said, yeah, I kind of feel like a slave. But what did I mean by that? I meant like I am making so much money doing what I'm good at, what I do for a living, that I don't feel like I can leave this job. I feel trapped in this job. Because if I leave this job, I'm going to take a huge pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I think he wanted to hear, but like that's actually what I'm in.
It's not oppression in the sense that we generally think of oppression.
Right, because I'm choosing to be there. I really can leave if I really wanted to. But I also wouldn't say I'm oppressed. I'm very fucking happy.
I guess these people always have the chance to go to a different country, though, right?
Don't do that.
Yeah. Let's hear more about this guy's.
We're getting. I like these like detours, but we're getting a little too far off track.
I would view it more as how we treat children that we love. We control them, but we control them lovingly, not as a slave, not as we're forcing them to do things against their will. I would view it more as I
kind of understand what he meant, but that sounded bad.
The way it's coming.
Like, you could see by her face, too, that she was sort of seeing that as it's really condescending, too. But it's also, I understand what he's saying.
Okay.
He's saying that, like, we love women, but we need to basically control them to make sure they don't hurt themselves. They're like a kid. Fucking.
A loving domestic thing in the past. And I would say that if we were to do it in a civilized way, maybe in a more even a Christian way, even though I'm not really advocating for a certain religion or ideology, I would assume that women would probably be happier. And I wouldn't just assume that blindly. I would assume that based on the data that I have.
I would agree with that, actually. Women are happier in monogamous relationships.
Is that what he's saying?
I think he's saying... Well, what is exactly he's saying? Maybe I need to hear it again. Let's go back.
If we were to do it in a civilized way, maybe a loving domestic thing in the past. And I would say that if we were to do it in a civilized way, maybe in a more even a Christian way, even though I'm not really advocating for a certain religion or ideology, I would assume that women would probably be happier. And I wouldn't just assume that blindly. I would assume that based on the data that I have seen.
I don't know exactly what he's saying. Do you?
I think he's saying he thinks women would be happier in more traditional roles. I think is what he's saying.
That's what I think he's saying.
Yeah, but I don't quite get at what exact. It seems like he's talking about something else slightly, though.
Maybe.
What data have you seen that has brought you to this conclusion? Because I'm now curious where I can get this data from.
I couldn't reference it offhand, but I believe there was a study that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Okay.
Okay, that added nothing. I was hoping he could give us more there. Okay, so I think what he was trying to say there, yes, women would be happier in a more traditional role.
Okay. It seems like something an incel would say.
Well,
I mean, from what I understand about the community.
Is that an incel thing, though? I mean, like... So...
I think it is.
All right, okay. Question. Discounting individual choice, let anyone do what they want. Do you think women are happier as mothers or happier in the workplace?
Depends on the time of the month.
I don't know what was more sexist, me or you. Let's assume both.
Okay.
They're both equally sexist. But do you think that okay?
I know both. I know both kinds of women.
Right. So what average woman, pluck the average woman out of a crowd. Do you think a woman would be happier in a career or as a mother?
Well, in the long run?
Can I share my thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say mother, but I would also say you take the average man out of a crowd and he'd probably be happier as a father.
Okay, interesting.
I do believe that there are a small sect of hyper energetic, intelligent men who are so focused on becoming career driven. And they're probably a bigger chunk than women. I'm going to show my hands so I can make that clear. Men who really are career driven and women who are really career driven. But the vast majority of people, I think, would be much better off just taking a job, making a living, and having a family.
What about like just women that want just a small career, not like a CEO or something, but like just a small career within their community,
What's a small career? Like teaching?
I guess, yeah, teacher. I was kind of thinking like more like the types that the people that like lead community centers or food drives or even like the head of the
I think people get a lot of satisfaction from community. I do. I agree. I would agree. I think they'd be happier with their own family over community, but community is a good substitute if you don't have a family. This is why this fucker should just look more into charity and community.
I do think, though, that some women would definitely find it more fulfilling a certain type of career, maybe.
What kind of career?
Maybe like an entrepreneurial career.
Yeah,
where I think everyone would find that. Would you, if you found something that would change, the lives of maybe not a lot of people, but a number of people, do you think that would be more fulfilling than raising a family?
Two things. One, no. And two, we're doing it right now. I'm serious. This is entrepreneurial, what we're doing. Yeah, we're not that big or that important, but we're affecting a number of people in Finland. And we're able to help a small community of people. So, yeah.
A number.
One person. One Finnish fucker.
Man.
No. I think the family is way more important because I think I think that like to really shape the lives of the future and to raise children is the most important thing we can do in our lives. To affect the community or to have a small entrepreneurial business that can affect a number of people, you can do that too. But I would say that have ultimate impact over the life of another, like raising a child, is probably the most important thing a person could do.
The most impactful thing.
I can say a lot of things that will benefit this guy in Finland, but ultimately, what I could do with my child, with raising a small child into becoming the adult that they will one day be, is way more impactful.
Okay, at least from what you know, like if you know you could actually make something that could help,
More people in
cure
Finland.
a certain type of cancer.
Oh well, yeah. If I could do that, then absolutely fucking yeah, that would be more impactful.
Screw the kids.
But how many people are there that do that? How many people have cured cancer up until this point in history?
I said a certain type of cancer.
But you see my point, though. Like you're talking about like really world-changing kind of events. Like if you really are that person, you're this brilliant chemist or physicist or whatever. And
What about just a doctor?
Oh,
That's
doctor.
something like a doctor.
A doctor, yeah, that'd be the best example, right? Because a doctor would be the most impactful person on a community, arguably.
Mm-hmm.
Over being a parent? Well, if you're a parent, you can have 2 doctors in the family. You raise 2 kids to become doctors.
There are a lot of doctor parents.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, there are certain careers I would say maybe are arguably more important than family, but I don't know if that's true though.
I'm almost talking myself into kind of a dualist approach because you can only raise your kids for so long, right?
Well, no, I think that like you get much more life satisfaction out of kids than you would out of like a career. Most careers. There are some careers that would be that satisfying. Like I said, I think there's like this many men and this many women.
I don't know. I mean, at a certain maybe more satisfaction in the end, because if you're a doctor, you just have a constant need of. If you really love being a doctor, you have a constant need of trying to fulfill other people's needs, I guess.
Well, once again, I think doctor is a good example because I think doctor would be the best example of someone who has a larger impact on the community that could arguably rival that of a parent. Let's take what you do, for example. Would you say like your job is more meaningful than your potential as a father?
No, absolutely not. I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't think I'm changing people's lives.
That's not true. Macklemore did a video with one of your jerseys. Millions of
He
people
stops
saw that.
in the store once a year.
Really?
Yeah, he buys a bunch of stuff and donates it to the children's hospital.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah.
So in essence,
usually around Christmas time.
In essence, you're donating a bunch of stuff to the children's hospital. Not
No,
really.
I sell it to him. I don't give him any discounts.
You make a lot of money off of suffering children.
Exactly.
You're a fucking saint, Tina. All right. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about liberal areas that create behavior in women that you think is a problem?
Promiscuity leads to increased standards in more primitive aspects such as looks.
What's he trying to say here?
Okay, he's trying to say that like when sex becomes more available, more readily available, shallow things like sexual attraction become more important than more deep things like character.
Okay, yeah, from promiscuity, like people that.
So the more
where it's accepted to, just be promiscuous.
Yeah. Like so, like the more sex is accepted in a culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more things that directly pertain to like sexual attraction become more important than other things. So like a person's intelligence is something that a woman can be attracted to, but I don't think it's sexy. Maybe some women do find it sexy. But I think like more women would find like sex appeal, actual legitimate physical appearance is sexy.
You think though these promiscuous women in the end will generally kind of fall in the middle as far as between attractive traits and maybe some of the more wholesome attractive traits?
I don't know. I think a lot of them are going to miss out.
On finding the right guy early on?
Yeah.
Or
I heard a shocking statistic today. 50% of women 35 right now at the age of 35, 50% of them are single and have no kids. 50% is a big number. I mean, I don't think it's ever been like that. So
why do you think we've arrived at that?
I think it has something to do with promiscuity, yeah. Like they've spent their 20s enjoying a great sex life but never finding a meaningful relationship. So they never settled down and they never had kids.
I don't know as much about that
I'm actually
that
finding
explanation.
I'm actually finding I'm agreeing with the incel a lot more than I thought I would.
Funny when you can actually talk to one or listen to one, I guess, outside of crazy message boards. But from what I've heard, like why birth rates are going down and more women are single and childless is from what I hear, it's just because it gets more and more expensive to have kids, and as women focus more and more on their careers, they don't find the time to be able to raise a kid in a medium income job.
Well, it's definitely a conscious decision to not have kids. You're right, because they're actually weighing the economic gains of having a kid versus the economic costs. But that's the problem, is they're thinking things in purely monetary value. They want to be rich. But like let's put it this way, like they're like the countries with the highest birth rates in the world are in Africa. I mean, these people
there
are
is
not,
an education aspect to this, right?
It could be an education thing, yeah, or it could just be like the economic gains of having kids in those countries is higher than here versus cost, right? Because you actually see kids as labor.
Yeah, it's more work.
Right. So there's not much benefit to having kids economically sense. But in terms of life meaning, I think the kids provide a lot more meaning. I think that people are happier. Well, not happier. I think you could actually enjoy a really good life without kids. But I think that you would find a less meaningful life. I find those two to be different things. Like, you know how you can enjoy something, but it seems hollow. It feels like like if you didn't enjoy this today, no one would care. That's the difference. Yeah. And that feels like then you have this kind of hollowness to your life, this emptiness. So I think that's what women are experiencing. And I think you're right. I think it's people are choosing, they're making an economic decision that like it's actually more risky to have a kid than to actually not have a kid. So I would be actually hurting myself financially by having a kid.
Which is probably a smart move, right? Like we don't want women who can't financially take care of their kids, right?
We don't. But I think women who can't financially take care of themselves are having kids all the time. It's a much bigger issue than it would take a whole hour-long podcast just to discuss this one topic, I bet.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we need to get a woman on the show, actually.
We don't know any women, man. We're not that cool. Do you know a woman?
I know a woman.
You do?
I live with one.
No, you don't. Do you? Wait, no, I know your roommates. Oh, right, yeah.
But no. I would need to find someone else for it.
Right.
I wonder if I could get my sister on.
That'd be great. We could talk to her about like she's a what?
Because she's been on the fence with having kids, and she's getting older. She just got married.
She's still like 26 or something. She's still young, right?
27. Yeah, close enough.
I'd still say that's young. I mean, like
I think a lot of this too pertains because my sister has been calling her pets fur babies.
See, that's weird.
It is weird. I know you've had this. I know your thoughts on this.
I think that women are going crazy and they're calling their pets their babies.
Are they fulfilling their kind of maternal instincts through having pets and more pets? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think that fulfills their maternal, like you pointed, their maternal instinct.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny trend, though, isn't it? It's not something we've ever seen in history, I don't think.
No, most women just had babies because, like, we didn't have birth control. You didn't have a choice in the matter, right? Women, no, I don't know. There's just so much to talk about. I mean, like, the question, like, should women be having more kids? It's like too soon to tell. Like I can't.
We could always go into the overpopulation thing too, but
I don't. Oh, I would definitely challenge you on that because I do not think overpopulation is a problem.
I don't think so either.
Oh, really? Do you remember when we took a ride with a cab driver one time and like he told us that Thanos was the good guy? I don't know if you remember that.
He's not the bad guy.
Well,
it's a popular thing on the internet, I think.
I know. Well, we were taking an Uber or a cab driver. I can't remember where, but we got into an interesting conversation with the Uber driver who said Thanos was the good guy, and I had made the argument. So someone like Hitler was actually doing the right thing because he was trying to control the population.
What did he say to that? I don't remember this.
He said no because he selectively chose who he wanted to kill. And I said, oh, so if you kill people at random, it's good. Well.
And then he didn't say anything to that?
I think the conversation got really awkward after that. But no, I do hate the people who say Thanos was actually secretly the good guy. I can say that Thanos was a great written character. I can say that you can actually see his motivations, and that makes him a great villain. But saying he's the good guy is going one step too far, man. To me, that's like fucking evil. Because that's such a fucking anti-human, anti-life perspective where you just think like, oh, the world would be so much better with a lot less humans.
Half of the life in the universe.
Yeah. So, no. I'll argue with it. If you want to bring someone on who believes overpopulation is a problem, I get into an argue with my friend about this all the time because he actually does think overpopulation is a problem, and I say bullshit. And I say that, and I don't even like it. I don't like that mentality because it's the most anti-human mentality I can think of.
Anti-life?
Yeah, it's saying like, hey, the world would be a lot better if there weren't so many humans.
I know a lot of people that would probably feel that way, but wouldn't say overpopulation is a problem.
They'll say it like that because that's socially acceptable, but what they're really saying is, man, I wish a lot of people would fucking die. That's what they're saying. Like, in very blunt terms, I'm translating it.
They just excuse it by saying, you know, I don't like being around so many people.
Well, I don't like being around so many people. But let's...
And that typically makes it harder for some people to find a relationship, including sometimes good-looking people. Like, there's guys who are much better looking than I am.
No way. This dude's George Clooney. What's he talking about?
Well, at least he's aware that there's better-looking people than him.
Who are having a really hard time finding someone in a place like LA or in London or in Auckland, New Zealand. But they probably would have...
Why Auckland? That's a weird one.
Yeah, is he referencing like mass shooting areas?
No.
No, that was Christchurch.
No, that's not what he was talking about. And first off, the Christchurch shooter was not an incel. He was a white.
Yeah, he was a PewDiePie supporter, right?
No, Jesus Christ. Yes, but that's not his motivation. He was a white supremacist.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's not go condemn PewDiePie for what the fucker did. Okay.
A perfectly fine time finding a woman somewhere else.
So you think that promiscuity is the problem, and if people were more monogamous and more withholding, that would sort of fix society?
Yeah, I suppose if people were more traditionalist.
I actually agree with him. I really do. I think monogamy is a really good thing. I hate that we're moving away from it.
I mean,
All right.
uh,
So wait. So are you pro or anti or like indifferent on monogamy?
I think I lean towards monogamy. But I mean, for some people, it just doesn't seem to work.
Do you think that we should have a culture that favors monogamy? If individuals within that culture disagree, or should we have a culture that says monogamy and polyamory are no different? They're equally good.
I can't say I've known any polyamory relationships that ever ended well.
I rarely know of any monogamous relationships that go well. I'm just simply
But two parents can, if they decide to get a divorce, and they can still be good parents, right? They can still work together and still have.
Yeah, I think if they make sure that the child comes first and they don't fight in front of each other, that's the worst thing. My parents.
That's one of the big things with monogamy, right? Is.
Yeah, I can say that my parents probably. I don't know if I would say that they were better off divorced. I don't know what to make of it, but my parents got divorced, and I remember them fighting all the time when I was a kid, and they would fight all the time after they got divorced too. It was only until we were 16, 18 years old, already out of the house, that I remember my mom and my dad actually becoming friends again. So I wish they had done that earlier, but fuck it.
But you think it is still possible to kind of where both parents can still raise children with a maybe not a perfect childhood, but raise them well rather than maybe a parent that's missing.
You mean in a divorced home, it's still capable for both parents to raise? Wait, what's the question?
Oh, I'm just saying the broader question is the reason for people prefer monogamy is that it usually leads to probably kids raising up in homes that's are probably best for them,
right?
Whereas in more polyamorous situations, people are a little bit more promiscuous and parents may not be there for their kids all the time.
Yeah, there's couple arguments against polyamorous in terms of child rearing. One, you're inviting a bunch of strangers into your home to be around your kid, which is kind of weird. But
certainly makes for some good comedians.
So the comedians do it?
No, that are the kids.
Oh yeah, well, most comedians are also depressed. Hence Robin Williams. Oh, I know, that was too soon.
Few mass shootings in the past where these shooters...
Mass shootings, we're getting into it now.
...actually stated that they were incels or were radicalized by online incels. What do you think about their actions?
I condemn their actions. I don't...
Good.
Yeah.
Just good. I don't like...
I mean, it's an easy answer. I can't imagine him in person supporting them.
Well, hold on. You could hear someone saying...
On camera.
Okay, fair enough, on camera. I could imagine someone defending what they did, saying well, you have to understand.
There was plenty of people, right? I think that Christchurch guy, he had a live feed and people were like...
Once again, I don't think he was an incel. Or maybe he was. I don't know enough about it. I thought his thing was he was a white supremacist. He hated Muslims.
Okay. I jumped on the mass shooting thing probably
There might be another one
general.
you're mistaking it, but the Christchurch one, I think he even published a manifesto and he said like, Muslims are destroying Western society. I have to kill them.
Yeah. I wish, I guess I haven't seen, it seems like the incel thing has kind of died down a bit for whatever reason the last year or two.
Oh, well, the pandemic might have had something to do with it. Other more pressing issues might. But once again, this video is like 3 years old. It was just the first video I saw and thought, well, let's react to this one. This might open up some interesting dialogue.
I don't believe violence is the solution.
Good.
I don't believe attacking random people is going to fix anything, whether they're, women or men. I do think that the
justification! I knew it! There was a big but coming. But! Just like that's what
you were waiting for that?
I was waiting. Yes, I condemn it completely. Yes, I don't think violence is the answer. Yes, but no. Well, we saw it from the opening, right?
The reason why they committed those actions was probably because out of desperation.
See, I knew that. That's what I thought he was gonna do. I thought, like you said, like there's no way he would justify violence, but he's not justifying. He's trying to explain it. It's a little different. But I think there would.
He's empathizing.
Yeah, I think there would be people out there who are more empathetic to the incels committing the violence and not so much the victims of the incels. They say you have to understand, like they were desperate and they had no other choice.
Yeah, they had to do it in order to, I don't know, release their anger. I don't know.
That was a big argument between me and Joe until he realized he was wrong about the Atlanta shooting.
What was his argument?
Well, the Atlanta shooting, the one with the massage parlors.
Yeah.
Well, he thought the cop was justifying what the shooter was doing.
No, it was clipped out of context, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, the police officer actually specifically was just explaining what the killer had explained to him.
Yeah.
So he's just answering a reporter's question. What was the motive behind the crime? He said that he was having a bad day. Whereas it's clipped out of context, he's like, well, he was having a bad day. It sounds like a justification and a minimalization when you say, well, you have to understand he was having a bad day. Versus saying, he told us he felt like he was having a bad day. And that's why he did what he did.
Yeah.
Totally different things. So that's me and Joe had a big argument about that. He said, like, this is totally typical. Like, they're just trying to justify all the violence of white people. And I said, no.
No, I don't think they've ever tried to justify it.
I don't think they have either, but he's under the impression that when white people commit crimes, it's always justified. Well, I know.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the incel.
Or out of, mental problems that probably could have...
Mental problems. No, that's not justification. Sorry. That's just an explanation.
Been prevented had the right support was in their community, in their household. If people saw what they were posting and saw what they were experiencing in life and did something to help them.
Dude, if I had a better support network, I definitely would have, people would have thought I would be a fucking mass shooter or something, I bet. On my Facebook, I don't post on Facebook anymore, but I used to just post whatever I was thinking. I think usually it was just jokes.
Well, that was the great days of social media where you could just post whatever you wanted and it wasn't controversial.
I think I would usually just post any joke thought I had. I would really like to go back through all my old Facebook posts and just see, did I say anything really just stupid and not realize I was saying something stupid? That's the thing. That's the James Gunn.
I always cringe when I look at old stuff.
That's the James Gunn thing.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, you could be saying something you think is funny at the time, and then boom, your career is over. I don't know if his career is over, but
should we be? I mean, he's talking about these support groups for these men that are struggling with their sexual life, and it's kind of a thing with men where you kind of have to figure it out on your own. You don't have support groups, right? That will, I guess you do have guys that will just, I don't know. It's kind of, what's the term I'm thinking of? Process.
I think we need a support group. I think what he's saying is if people had better communities for outreach, they wouldn't feel the need to go to these online circles where they could become radicalized.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if
should we continue?
yeah, just continue.
Sorry, I don't want to be rushing us through this, but wait a we're at an hour and a half now. I think we got to try to get through this.
Was there like a pivotal moment in your life, like a straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back?
You know, it's constant years of rejection, no matter who the person was. Constant years of rejection in other aspects of.
I don't know why he'd be rejected. I'd totally do him.
My life, it did kind of push me towards more, I suppose, radical beliefs. But I suppose they're only like radical, but they're more just old beliefs, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he's saying anything that radical, honestly. I know he's an incel, I get it, but like,
I guess his most radical thing was probably when he said like women should be, these types of have these careers, and
that's the big difference here. Is like when you say someone should do something, or must. Must is the worst thing you can say. Like no, should is a moral declaration that one thing is better than the other. Must is mandatory. So
you must do this.
Must, yeah. Women must play the traditional housewife role. That's way worse.
Or all is lost.
Yeah, it's way worse than women should play the housewife role.
So even then, he's not stepping on it too hard.
I guess so. I mean, that's some justification. I don't hate this guy as much as I thought I might.
No, it sounds like I had another like metaphor like death by 1,000 cuts. It's not like one pivotal moment, but it sounds like a bunch of things built.
This guy's eyes are dead. like did you realize that like just watching it like he's like I don't know what he's staring into. He's staring into the void.
Maybe he really needs like a picture. He really wants to know what this guy looks like, and so
like focus on his eyes. Let's go back.
Like metaphor, like death by 1,000 cuts. It's not like one pivotal moment, but it sounds like a bunch of things built up over time.
Yeah.
I think it's because he doesn't move that much. Like his eyes are kind of like shifting around a little bit, but he's not like really engaging in the question.
Common criticisms about the incel community is that you feel entitled to sex or intimacy.
That's true. I think that's the worst thing that they can think.
Yeah, the entitlement.
Yeah, I want to hear what he says to that.
I must have access to.
Yeah, that's the real creepy part of the incel thing is that you're entitled to sex.
Do you believe that you deserve sex or intimacy from a woman?
I think everybody at some level deserves someone that loves them and respects them, as long as you are also loving and respectful towards that person. They're an equal. You're not like seeking someone beyond yourself.
Jesus Christ, this guy's not that bad. Is it?
Everyone deserves.
What would you say to that?
It's wishful thinking.
Some people don't. Okay, let's say the opposite sentence now. Some people don't deserve love.
Is that the opposite? I feel like it would be everyone doesn't deserve love.
Or okay, I guess the opposite would be no one deserves love.
Oh man, which one would I lean towards?
I would actually say no one deserves love. I don't think love is
really.
I hate the word deserve. I strongly oppose the word deserve. I think deserve says that it is a sense of entitlement that you don't deserve. You don't deserve anything in life. You earn things.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there.
That's my attitude, but I've actually got into an argument with my wife about that. She hates the fact that I mentioned that. I told her, don't ever use the word deserve with me. And that was just like, well, that stopped there.
No one deserves love.
No one deserves anything.
Okay, let's go with the other question, though. Now, some people don't deserve love.
Pedophiles.
That seems a little bit inhuman, right?
No. Pedophiles.
Even they don't deserve love.
From whom?
I whoever has the capacity to give it.
Let's say John is a pedophile, and
Okay.
and Sally is a 22-year-old woman, and she loves John. Does John care?
Does he deserve her love, even though he loves someone else?
That's quite the phrase. Yeah, John loves little Sue.
I guess maybe we don't always get the love we deserve, but we do get love. People should have love.
So people should have love.
Should have love in their life, right? Even if it's not the kind they're asking for, or from the people they're asking for, right?
There's a story there somewhere. No, hold on. I'm thinking like there's a fucking like indie movie there, right there, where like a woman falls in love with a guy, but the guy's a pedophile.
Actually,
wouldn't that kind of make an interesting movie? Honestly, it's
you
creepy.
have to do it in a very comedic way, though.
I don't know if you could make that into a comedic movie.
I think you have to. I can't see it being a tragedy.
Oh, Jesus. Let's move on.
Okay.
You don't have like too high standards, I suppose. You know?
If you can tell the world about something about being incel that, that may not be in the internet or that's overlooked heavily, what would it be?
They don't have sex.
I don't know. I think it's mostly that most of the men are not inherently bad people. A lot of them are just lonely. They just need some help, really.
Okay. Would you say that there's anything that other people can do to help guide or just support or
okay.
You know, the lonely person in your class or the lonely person in your workplace, maybe he's an incel and he's not letting you know and he's just kind of afraid he wants someone positive. Just be nice, say hi, try and make friends with them.
You know, if you go back to the movie The Joker, the only person who was ever nice to the Joker is the one person the Joker spares.
The midget.
The midget, yeah.
That was a great scene.
Just saying, it is.
He's like frightened for his life.
It is a great scene.
I'm sorry.
It is a great scene, but like that's all he's saying, right? Like just try to be like if you think someone might be an insult, just try to be nice to them.
You think the incels maybe have those people? They just don't recognize them, though.
I think that
no way to prove it, but
I would say that it's not enough for them. They probably do have people like that do care about them and are trying to be nice to them, but clearly it's not enough for them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the story of the Columbine shooters? How they passed over some girl because they said that she was nice to them?
Kind of rings a bell, yeah.
I don't know if that was exactly Columbine, but I do remember like a school shooting in which like the kid who was bullied and picked on and had to shoot up the school. He passed over people who he specifically said were nice to him. And he didn't want to kill him. So be nice to the quiet kid in the back of in the trench coat.
So if everyone was just a little bit nicer, he would have only shot the principal.
No, I don't think that's it. Like we got to be nice to school, to the outcasts, and then that's the one way we can make sure that school shootings never happen again or something. Fucking thing.
There is a lot of bullying that goes on as adolescents, and
what was the one Parkland shooter? What was his motivation? Like, was he just like crazy? Or was he bullied? You know what? I mean, like, why did I go to Parkland? I just can't remember. Has there been a more recent school shooting? I think there hasn't there?
I don't know about school shooting. It's been stuff outside of schools, you know, like massage parlor, the
Boulder, the grocery store. Yep.
Yeah. But just because schools kind of aren't quite back fully in session, I think.
There's a really dark joke there that I'm going to pass up on.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some avenues even I won't go.
You don't have to date him. You don't have to whatever. Just, brighten up someone lonely's day, I suppose.
Actually, I go ahead.
I guess you never know like how one, compliment might change someone's life, or one little thing.
I still remember compliments I've gotten 5 years ago.
Name one.
Someone said I look like Ryan Reynolds. 5 years ago. 5 years ago. When I was volunteering at the children's hospital, this one mom says, "You remind me of well, she said Deadpool, but I want to think she meant Ryan Reynolds."
Wouldn't either be good?
Well, Deadpool's like crazy and like looks like a shriveled up testicle.
I guess so. You do have the physical standpoint.
Thank you. I'd rather go for the appearance wise thing. But that's just you're
I'll take the best of what you offered there.
Actually, I wouldn't be bothered if someone said they remind me of I remind them of Deadpool. I'd take that as a compliment.
He's very free spirit.
I had twice in college someone pinch my butt.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
That's a compliment. How is that
Maybe
not a
they're just
compliment?
trying to get your attention.
No, it's not a guy. Why do you say they? Did you say guy?
That's true.
No. Did you say guy? I don't know. I think it was two girls. I think one of them was drunk and the other one was just with their friends and she was trying to get a laugh.
Yeah.
Still means a lot to me.
Still remember it.
You switch the genders on that. It's not the same story.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
You don't want to be an incel?
No.
Involuntary. Involuntary celibate.
You don't want to.
You don't want to be an incel? Involuntary. Jesus Christ. What dumb.
Maybe that's what set him off.
That's a dumb fucking question.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's part of the whole involuntarily
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you want to try and escape it. You want to be something better. You want to get a wife, get a girlfriend, get someone who loves you, spend your life with them, and be happy. And
what's one thing you wish people understood better about you?
I don't know. I guess I wish people would recognize how much effort I'm trying, I suppose. Like, I'm working out typically daily. I've lost over 100 pounds.
Damn.
That's good.
I'm just saying that because he's not the skinniest guy, so.
Dude.
I know, but 100 pounds is 100 pounds.
He just
so.
lost 100 pounds. Are you fucking knocking him? Come on. If I lost 5 pounds, I deserve it.
That's hard enough, right?
Yeah, if I lose 5 pounds, I'm treating myself to pizza and ice cream.
I'm just saying wow, because like if I was 100 pounds more, I know exactly how much, how hard it would be, and he's probably at least 50 pounds more than me.
Yeah. Kind of looks like Fred.
It's just harder when you're that much bigger, right?
I don't know. Is it easier to lose weight once you gain a lot of weight? Like a 300-pound person burns calories doing more calories doing the exact same thing that you and I would do, right? Because you're just more weight.
Yeah, but then it's like everything though is like a workout, right?
That's true. That's true.
I'm out there job hunting actively.
Okay, he's unemployed. I see why he's an incel.
Okay.
I don't think people recognize how much effort the incels in general try to put into bettering themselves.
Most of them don't.
I would say, people don't recognize their effort. They just assume that they're all like lazy and
yes,
and sad and
yes,
angry at women and
yes,
just giving up and things of that nature, I suppose.
I've learned nothing.
I was kind of hoping to learn something I didn't already kind of think before.
Well, wouldn't you say that like this guy's much more sympathetic than you would have thought? The first thing that you said when we brought up incels, you said toxic masculinity, and
I think he's more empathetic. I don't know if he's as sympathetic.
Okay. Explain.
I mean, he's empathetic with his other incel people, but I don't know if he's maybe sympathetic for the people that might think that being this community isn't such a good thing.
Maybe.
Disagree? Agree?
I don't know.
Not sure.
I was actually pleasantly surprised that he wasn't as bad as I thought he'd be.
I was hoping to like learn something I didn't know before. Like maybe these incels, they go out and they clean streets and,
Like they're a fucking social club that does charity work. Like, what the?
yeah, like the Masons or something.
It's not a fucking like. God damn it.
I would be pleasantly surprised if that.
He did say that he works out and that he's looking for a job. He's trying to better himself. He's not like the entitlement thing. That was the thing I knew most about incels. They feel entitled to stuff. He's trying to better himself. Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's good. He's not going out and shooting people.
That's right.
But some of these people do, and that's the problem.
Okay, there was the one kid in California. We established him. How many other incel shooters are there?
I don't know.
Well, that's the subject of next week's episode.
You don't have to see the bad things in the world and then come out a bad person. You can just see the bad things in the world and then improve upon yourself because of them, I suppose.
So you do have hope.
Yeah, I have hope, yeah. I'm a very hopeful person.
He's actually pretty confident. He's not what I would have thought.
Yeah, like I said, he still kind of has a little bit of smug attitude.
That's smug. He's being... I would say he's actually genuinely a likable person. You may not agree with everything he says, but he's not like a jerk, and he's not like bashful or stupid. He's just a little weird, but at the same time, I
can see myself being friends with him.
I can see myself banging him up the asshole.
Well, then he wouldn't be an incel.
I know. I want to help him.
Incels out there. We're here to help. If you need a support network.
Here's the thing. Incels could actually solve all their problems by just becoming gay. And then they just... Seriously, though. That would be a solution.
That or go to... I wonder how many go to Vegas. Probably. That's the thing. I don't think they do because they have that role where women shouldn't be sex workers, right?
I don't know. I think they do. I think they have more. I don't know. It kind of makes sense too because you would think like once again like another solution to incels is just go get a hooker.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't do that.
There's something to it. What he was saying, everyone deserves to be kind of loved. They don't have to pay for something that's...
Do you think that maybe a good portion of incels are raised in really religious homes? And therefore they see sex, premarital sex as immoral, and they're not likely to choose alternative routes to find sex?
This guy, he says he's not religious.
Yeah, he says he's not religious, but do you think there's a chance he was raised in a religious home?
I think, yeah, there's a good chance.
I'd say so. Look at that fucking plaid shirt. That's like fucking Sunday school shit.
Do you think there's a lot of incels are like in the South? Just because it's kind of more religious?
Well, I don't know. I don't associate incels with religious people. But
that one guy was in California, though.
That's the only one I know. And that's because they brought him up in the video. They showed him. And he quite famously like posted a video on YouTube explaining that he's going to go shoot a bunch of girls because he feels bad about the fact that he's never been kissed before. So
why do these people they want like they want the notoriety for like I guess that's a broader question of why these mass shooters want the attention.
I think they feel desperate and they want to feel heard. Like they usually kill for some sort of
there's other people like me out here that are, oppressed or
I think a lot of them kill along ideological lines. Some of them don't. Like the Atlanta shooter, like he's a sex addict and he's fucking probably crazy. Then there was that theater shooter, the one in Aurora, Colorado. The one who like says I'm the Joker and he shot a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
He was just fucking crazy. He didn't have any sort of ideology that guided him to it. He's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But then you got the mystery ones, like we still don't know why the Las Vegas shooter did what he did.
He's a big outlier, actually. He's older.
Yeah.
You know, he had a lot of money. I think he had a wife. He must have been deeply unhappy, or there's something that we don't know.
Yeah, someone said like gambling debts, but I don't know if that would cause you to do that.
He apparently had plenty of money, unless he did have some debts that. But I feel like we would have heard something.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I heard that. Well, I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm just saying. Full disclosure, I could be completely wrong about this, but I had heard that he was a horrible gambler and basically had gambling debts. And I don't know why he shot a bunch of people, but I think it was connected. But I don't know what his motive was. No one does. Like, he didn't leave any sort of note, and he had no trail. He wasn't really, like, ideologically driven in any sort of way, and he had no mental health problems. He just fucking killed a bunch of people for seemingly no reason.
Yeah. That's definitely the big mystery one that even still the largest mass shooting, right?
Yeah, it is. It's the largest mass shooting in history. And it's an odd one because it's the one that seems to have it's the least tied to a motive. No one knows.
Yes, a lot of it mental health illness or people that are having problems, you know.
Well, I think a lot of it is mental health or ideology, like some sort of.
But this guy didn't seem to have it either. So
Either like white supremacy or Islamic fundamentalism or incels.
Yeah, so I don't know.
All right, let's finish this off.
I suppose.
I won't lie, this went a lot differently than I thought it would.
I'm surprised that guy's not an incel.
I thought we'd be yelling at each other, you know?
It was nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Oh.
Hello, thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it.
That guy's
Be
an
sure to
incel.
like, comment, and subscribe. Comment as well. I already said that. Cut that part out.
No, we'll keep it. Thanks.
Okay, that was awkward. All right. So, Tina, we learned a little bit about incels, right? No?
A little bit, you know, it's definitely a community.
They're human beings just like you and me, except
I think there is an ideology though that for the traditional incel,
I think they subscribe to traditional gender norms and monogamy, which
yeah, just the kind of nuclear common family, right?
Yeah, but that's just basic conservatism. How is that different from anything that like 90% of conservatives preach? It's
not really.
So here's a question: are all incels conservative then? If they all preach like they want traditional gender norms and they want monogamy and family values, yada yada yada, nuclear family, would you think?
Yeah, I would definitely say they're probably more on the conservative spectrum by far.
I would agree.
I think maybe their beliefs aren't really that fleshed out, or maybe they aren't, too into politics outside of those kind of core things. But
I really wish I could go on to like a subreddit with incels and find someone who will come onto our show. But like, Reddit is a real fucking fascist when it comes to trying to find like people for content. I tried going on like I tried to find a paranormal investigator for our show, but they wouldn't let me do it because like they said you're trying to promote your content. Like I didn't say the name of my podcast and I didn't say anyone should go listen to it. I was just trying to find someone who would want to talk to me about ghosts. And I told them, you don't want to promote connections outside of your platform, you fucking fascists.
tell it to Karen.
I hate fucking Reddit.
I love Reddit. I just don't post it all.
I prefer 9gag. 9gag is meant for autistic screeching losers who find things funny.
I still don't understand that. But you do show me stuff that I don't see anywhere else. So
9gag's funny. People there are just like they're fucking like the whole thing about there is like, hey, we're all losers, but we at least can laugh at the world burning down. That's the
And
mentality.
not us shooting it down.
Oh no, I don't think 9gaggers are dangerous. I think there's a lot of fucking Nazis on 9gag, but
That's because they're European.
true. There's a lot of Hitler memes.
Trend.
Oh, did you hear about like in Austria, like a cop got arrested for posting a picture of Hitler eating dinner?
Just what?
That was it. That was totally it. He says like Hitler's favorite meal. He posted a picture of Hitler eating his quote favorite meal, and says,
What was the meal?
like some sort of salad. You know Hitler was a vegetarian, right?
I think I did know that.
Yeah. He was a huge animal rights activist. He basically was a member of PETA. But
Fascist.
really. But no, he got arrested. He's going to serve a year in jail.
Damn, jeez.
Yeah, they don't have free
Well,
speech in Europe, so we're good. We're lucky.
For now.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
I guess just be nicer to people. If you see someone not having a good day, give them a little word of encouragement. I think his advice was right. You shouldn't feel obligated to, go out to these people that look lonely, but the difference is you can make,
My last closing thoughts are: if you see a clown on the streets, don't steal his sign. That's
True.
That's words I live by.